Hey everybody, it's WRC here. I'm standing here next to this Stark that has no plastic or seat on it. But I wanted to educate you to what I have figured out. I just actually ran over to Lithium Power Sports and grabbed this thing for a good customer of ours. We're getting ready to build a Gen 2 Walsh hybrid LTR based platform motocross bike, and I'm super excited about it. And what we're gonna do here is use this Stark power plant. Now, this is a Gen 2 Stark. It's like a 24 or 25, I'm not sure the year, it's brand new. But it's a Gen 2, and I didn't know the differences, and I probably still don't know all the differences, but I'm gonna point out some of the differences that we've seen, me and Anthony, by checking this thing out. So, they changed the radiator a little bit. We were having kind of a bleeding problem. We did get it figured out, but they added this vent line here, going from the pump to the top of the radiator. That was the first thing we saw, and I think that's a great upgrade. I think that's something that's going to help people, especially people that are moving the radiator or taking the radiator off and putting it back on. It's going to be easier to bleed, I'm thinking. Next, they actually changed the wires coming out of the motor. We were having a problem where we had to pull a bit of wires out of the motor sometimes to make things work. Well, they kind of put this little loop here, and they got a little bit more wire here, but I don't think you could pull it out now. So I don't know, that's something to keep your eye on. There is more wire, so you will be able to move your battery slightly away from your motor a little bit now with a little bit more lead here. Next, coming around to this side, they actually integrated the charge port. It's the same, it appears to be the same plug, but it's much smaller. The outside of this is much smaller. They integrated it into the motor. Now, they also changed the valve cover, but we won't call it the valve cover. I don't know. The motor cover here was a plastic, and that's right here. So if you look at this, this is the Gen 1 motor. This is a plastic, and here's your wires. You can actually get a little bit out of them if you want. Well, you can't do that anymore. It doesn't look like anyways. That's a plastic cover. This looks to be aluminum, or it's definitely metal based. Here's the Gen 1 charge port, so you can kind of see the difference. This is nice because you could move it, but you cannot move that one. And I kind of like this better, but we were talking and we may have some issues with this setup because those of you who are that are doing TRX stuff, you're gonna be in trouble because this is not gonna fit in the TRX frame. So if you're gonna do a TRX hybrid conversion, you must run a Gen 1 motor, or else you're gonna have to do more chassis work than you would have had to do with the Gen 1 motor if you're gonna run a Gen 2 motor. So that, you gotta be careful on that. So that's gonna be another issue. Now you're gonna see this build come together. It's a go. It's on a Gen 2 platform. We're gonna do